Welcome back to the podcast, Heal Without Harm. My name is Dr. Clayton Dir. I'm the physical therapist and the one bringing you the truth about the medical system. Today's topic is going to be about how you should not feel crazy for using ChatGPT or any other AI to essentially attempt to solve your musculoskeletal pain. I want to talk about how there's 40 million people currently doing that and what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and what I think I still want everybody to take away from it ultimately as they go through it. So let's get into this. I want to talk about how I think the reason people are ultimately doing it is because it's free, it's very accessible, and I think the biggest one though is that there's like no judgment in whatever you ask. You're just like, hey, why does my back hurt? And then of course it'll ask you some questions, and then you can just be very honest with it, and you can say, is there anything else going on or whatever, and it just goes back and forth with no sort. I think it just comes back to judgment. Like there's no fear around what this person will think of me or anything like that. So you can be very unfiltered with it. I do think that a lot of the times when we are going to the medical doctor or any doctor for that matter or healthcare provider, I think ultimately people feel rushed. They feel like they don't want to take up too much time. They don't want to be a burden. Um, and so I think when you have ChatGPT, you can kind of ask it whatever. And if you want to ask for clarification, you don't feel stupid. You're like, what does that word mean? And you can just ask it. Where, of course, if you're at a doctor's office or any sort of healthcare provider, you're fearful of that person like thinking you're stupid. Ultimately, even if that's not the case. And so there's these other things going around where you feel everything is in control of you. Everything is on your time. There's no fear of judgment. There's no fear of you feeling stupid or anything like that. There's also the fact, like I said, that it's free and it's instant, and it doesn't require explaining yourself to another human. It's just kind of like you and chat, ultimately. Now, there's a big gap though that I'll talk about here in a sec, and we'll get to that. But what I think chat is really good at is it knows how to take all information that's out there and consider it. Like the thing is if you're working with somebody who is new, a newer provider, of course they haven't been around the world as many times as that 80-year-old provider, so they don't know as many possibilities. They don't know how to catch red flags. They don't know how to ask sometimes all the right leading questions to get the correct answers out of you. And so that's a big piece of it. I do think sometimes it provides good general education. It gives you information that you didn't know you wanted or needed afterwards. And ideally, especially as it starts to include short form, it can actually point you in the right direction of some good content creators out there, good medical providers that can explain some things. What I want to do though today is talk specifically about the gap that it can't fill. I remember that when I first started practicing as a PT, my mentor taught me a lot of things about the back and about back pain and shoulder pain that we never really learned in school. And if I were to type in why is my back hurt or low back pain, the results that I would get through Googling, the results that I would get through searching it myself were so much different than the way I understood the back and how I would help people generally get pain relief pretty quickly. And so that's what I want to lean on today is the fact that like chat can't see you move, see you squat, see you walk, because a lot of pain is mechanical, and the pain that's not mechanical, meaning like movement based, it's going to be about how you perceive pain. And then we can go into the idea of pain science and how stress is related to everything. So what I want to do here is I do have ChatGPT open right now in front of me, and I'm going to type in what I think you guys would type in. And we're going to go kind of like step by step in this conversation and see, do I agree or disagree with it? Do I think it's pointing you in the right direction? Maybe how would I prompt it differently to get better answers? Do I think it's missing some things? Whatever it may be. So I've got chat open right now, and I know none of you guys can see this in particular, but I'll read out loud what I'm typing and what chat is giving me back. So I'm going to say my back has been hurting off and on for 2 years now. Can you please help me get some relief? We'll give chat a little time to think. 2 years of recurring back pain is worth getting properly assessed, but there are several things you can do to reduce a flare safely. First, make sure there are no warning signs. Seek urgent or emergency medical care if you have new trouble controlling or passing urine or stool. That's a red flag. Numbness around your genitals, anus, or inner thighs. Red flag. Significant or worsening weakness, numbness in both legs. Red flag. Not always to a physical therapist, but that's one that you wouldn't know. So you, of course, would want to go get it checked out. difficulty walking that's rapidly worsening, of course, back pain after a major accident. All major accidents just go straight to the ER pretty much. Fever or chills or feeling seriously unwell, along with the back pain, also red flag. If none of those apply to you, recurring pain for 2 years still deserves a non-emergency appointment with a doctor or physical therapist. This is where I think ChatGPT is going to do really good for all people, but specifically physical therapists. I am talking to chat in an incognito window, so it doesn't know that I'm a physical therapist or anything. It also says, particularly if it interferes with sleep, work, exercise, or daily activities. I love that they put physical therapists really high up there because they're the person that's actually going to be able to get you relief quickly, ultimately, especially as you rule out red flags. Things that you should do: keep moving gently. This is great. Short walks, changing positions regularly are generally better than staying in bed. You can try heat for 15 to 20 minutes. If the muscles feel tight or spasmed, ice can also be helpful if it feels particularly irritated after activity. I like this. Avoid movements that clearly make the pain worse, but don't try to completely immobilize your back. I like that. Don't just sit and do nothing. If you normally can take over-the-counter anti-inflammatory, such as ibuprofen, it may help, but it's not appropriate for everyone. Certain stomach, kidney, heart, blood thinner, pregnancy, or allergy situations, a pharmacist can help determine if it's safe. I can help you narrow down what's going on. Now we're going to get into assessment. Where is the pain? Is it low back, middle, upper back? Does it stay in the back or travel into the butt or leg? What does it feel like? Aching, stabbing, burning, tight, electric. What tends to trigger it or make it better? Sitting, standing, bending, lifting, walking, lying down. Do you have any numbness, tingling, or weakness? How old are you? And what were you doing when it first started? This is great. Okay, so we're going to entertain. I'm a 42-year-old female that's had this pain off and on. So let's go through these. So one, where's the pain? We're going to say low back, more left than right. Second question, does it stay in your low back? Travels slightly into left butt cheek. 3, what does it feel like? Dull, ache mostly, but does get sharp with certain movements. What tends to trigger to make it better? Sitting in weird positions or bending forward, it can grab hard. Do you have any numbness, tingling, or weakness? We'll just say no. How old are you? 42-year-old female. Started with picking up my kid more often. There we go. So I said it's low back, more left than right, travels slightly into left butt cheek. It's a dull ache most of the time, but does get sharp with certain movement. Sitting in weird positions or bending forward can grab hard. No, there's no numbness, tingly. I'm a 42-year-old female, started with picking up my kid more often. The pattern you described sounds more like mechanical low back pain, possibly involving the muscles and joints around the low back with some referred pain into the left butt. The fact that it started when you were lifting your child is provoked by awkward sitting and forward bending fits that pattern. Absence of numbness, tingling, or weakness is reassuring. Pain into the butt itself doesn't necessarily mean a pinched nerve. I can't diagnose it, but because this has been recurring for 2 years, I'd strongly recommend physical therapy evaluation rather than treating each flare. Exercise-based treatment is one of the better supported approaches for chronic low back pain. What I would try to do in the next 2 weeks: don't baby your back. Keep walking and doing normal activities, but reduce things that reliably cause the sharp grab. Be particularly careful with lifting your kid. Get close to them when lifting. Bend your knees and hips. Keep your child close to your torso. Avoid lifting while simultaneously twisting. Try gentle movement rather than aggressive stretching. Walk 10 to 20 minutes a day. Do pelvic tilts. I am liking this. Flatten your back toward the floor. Glute bridges, knees bent. Gently tighten your buttocks, lift your hips. Bird dog. For the most part, I would agree with these. 4, heat may help during a flare. Heat pad for 15 to 20 minutes. One thing I'd change about how you're approaching it, I wouldn't make the goal find one stretch that fixes my back. I'd make the goal build your back and hips back up so lifting, bending, and carrying your child aren't threatening to your back anymore. I am loving this. A physical therapist can examine whether your hip mobility, trunk strength, lifting mechanics, or something else is contributing and give you a progressive strengthening program, much more likely to produce durable improvement than repeatedly resting whenever it flares. This is directly from chat. This dude's gonna be like my best buddy. And you don't necessarily need an MRI just because it's going on for a long time. Imaging is not routinely useful for uncomplicated low back pain unless the history and examination, which I would always recommend, suggests something that would change management. Caveat: get medical attention if you have new bowel or bladder symptoms, numbness or tingling around the genitals and anus, significant or rapidly worsening leg weakness, or severe spasms in both legs. If you'd like, I can also walk you through a 10-minute back routine specifically designed for your left-sided back, exercise by exercise. Yes, please. Let's see what it says. This is where I think things can go awry, because people will do what this says and then they will say, oh, I tried physical therapy, it didn't work. It's like, no, you didn't. You tried exercises that you called physical therapy, but did you go through therapy? I don't mean to be insensitive on this, but this is like saying you tried a couple breathing techniques, and so you're going to discount all of therapy for your depression or anxiety or bipolar or post-traumatic stress, PTSD essentially. It's like, no, you didn't go through a whole thing with a therapist. So make sure you don't discount things too quickly. Here's the exercises. Gentle pelvic tilts. Lie on your back, knees bent, feet flat. Gently tighten your stomach, flatten your low back toward the floor, hold for a couple seconds, and then relax. Repeat 10 to 15 times. Knee to knee windshield wipers. So laying on your back, knees together, and go left and right with them. Gentle movement, this is good. Glute bridges. This should take about a couple minutes. Essentially lift your hips up off the floor, 2 sets of 8, and then bird dog for 2 minutes. I'm down with these. Hip hinge practice, teacher. This one is especially important for you because forward bending while caring for or lifting the child is a trigger. Stand with your feet about hip width apart. Do this. Teach your body, I can bend forward without collapsing through my low back. This is good. They even use a traffic light like I do. Oh my gosh. Green light, mild aching, muscle fatigue, stiffness. We're good with that. Go for it. Yellow light, you notice your left buttock pain getting worse. During or after the routine, reduce the range of repetitions. I like this. Red light, if you have sharp electric pain, new numbness, tingling, or pain that starts traveling down your leg, stop exercise, go to a medical doctor. One change I'd make immediately: don't repeatedly test it by bending forward to see if it's better. It's like picking a scab. I love this. Let's keep on down. If you'd like, tell me which of the 6 exercises above feels best, which feels worse, and whether bending backward feels better or worse than bending forward. Those 3 pieces of information. Okay, honestly, I'm down for this. I still think you should go to physical therapy because this isn't going to solve everything. If you've had this for 2 years, I'm sure you've tried some things without avail. And so I still would say go to a PT, but this is at least a great starting point, and I'm actually currently potentially in process of building something like this that is perfect for these types of scenarios. So for right now, I'm pretty okay with chat. Again, listen to the red flags and things like that. And then if you feel like it's not getting better, that's when I would say put up the technology, go to a physical therapist, get appropriately eval'd, and then treat it, because the symptoms will probably go away significantly faster with another individual who can like pattern recognize and actually treat you and communicate with you as a person, as opposed to just this technology. However, I think this has got to get a pretty decent stamp of approval, because this is pretty solid. But anyway, reach out to me if you have any questions or if you want better ways to prompt things like this. And whenever I get my piece of AI equipment to come out, would love for you to try it. If you have any questions, drop them down below. Other than that, follow, subscribe, help me out on getting more of this information out to the masses. We'll see you guys.